Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond AR TV. My name is John. It's time for a track review because Green Day have another new single out. It's called Holy Toledo, and it's from a movie which I honestly forgot the name of. It's on screen now, but it seems like it's a romantic comedy based on what I saw in the trailer. It didn't particularly seem interesting to me, but hey, my favorite band are a part of the soundtrack, so of course I'm there day one checking this song out. This is a return to form for Green Day. I don't think there's any way to paint around that. It sounds much better than most of what we got on Father of All, if not everything. I think we can at least agree that that album was average at best. It felt like they were contractually obligated to make it. There's a lot of theories bouncing around surrounding that album. But since then, we have gotten a couple of new singles. We got Here Comes the Shock, which I was very indifferent on, haven't come back to at all. It felt like it was for sports commercials and nothing more, kind of like Fire, Ready, Aim. And then we got Pollyanna, which was much more optimistic and power pop leaning. I liked the overall message and tone of the song. It wasn't exactly something that demanded heavy rotation, but when I hear it, it's totally fine. It's a very breezy tune. Holy Toledo is very different though, both in its sound and the lyrical packaging and Billie Joe Armstrong's vocal approach on this one. In fact, it calls to mind the Trilogy, and I know what you're thinking, don't panic. The Trilogy wasn't entirely bad. There were good songs on that, and if you don't believe me, then maybe go check out that video I did where I condensed the Trilogy into one great album. Once you get into the first 30 seconds of Holy Toledo, once you get past the quiet intro, you'll be reminded of something that gives you the groove of the bass of Stray Heart from the Trilogy meets Foxborough Hot Tubs, their side project. And Foxborough was always about kind of that vintage rock and roll spirit. It's one of Green Day's many side projects from Pinhead Gunpowder to The Network. And I do feel that Foxborough was one that always stood out to me as just so fun and vivacious and lively. And those elements combined together with a mood that, dare I say, was probably written or else the idea for this was born during the Trilogy era, plays out fantastically on Holy Toledo. The song just gets catchier and snappier the more you get into it. And I'm not saying that this is S-tier Green Day, but I am calling this a bounce back from the mediocrity that we've been fed for the past 5 years or so. Revolution Radio, the album, was the last time where I really felt like Green Day were firing on all cylinders, and this feels like they're really stoking the fire again. The backing vocals are so on point. Mike Dirnt really kills it with the bass, and of course his backing voice that he adds more and more as the song goes on. The guitars have a nice slick punch to them, and I like the fact that this is kind of about a come down after a party. There's a lot of lyrics that can feel a little bit off the wall, and perhaps silly in places, but not like cringe to the point of something like Fuck Time, or I don't know, that one song that y'all really seem to hate from the Trilogy, specifically Dose. I don't know, it just gets caught in your head really quickly. It's a 3-minute song that feels like a 2-minute song, which I think is a good thing because they've recently made some 2-minute songs that feel like 10-minute songs. I love the little stop before they go into the chorus. There's some nice bass work there that really transitions things, and they just have a grooving, powerful feel to the chorus. It's light on its feet, but it stays with you. Let's talk about Trey Cool too, because he did a great fucking job with the drumming on this track. There's a clarity to the mix that actually allows you to hear the spirit of the song, the fun that it can give off, and Trey adds on top as he dances with his rhythms, and this just pulls out the best side of Billie Joe Armstrong's vocals as well. This is something that feels like he's more in top form, and again, this could be an older song that they've just refurbished, for lack of a better word, but even so, I think back to like when Fall Out Boy re-recorded Lake Effect Kid. I think it proves that they still have it. They're not totally out of juice for the canon. You might also notice the bridge of this track. It feels like it has a laid-back marching band vibe to it with the ba 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 da ba. It just doesn't feel out of place or really gimmicky. I actually feel that it really sells the mood, and then when they speed right back up, pick up that tempo once again for that final chorus, it's a live wire. Yeah, return to form for Green Day, shake hands right there in the middle, because this certainly isn't D tier, and while it's not S tier, it's definitely on the right path. It blows it out of the water for anything that I've seen from them in a while, and Holy Toledo is getting a strong 4 out of 5 for me. Definitely better than Pollyanna, and way better than Here Comes the Shock, and of course Father of All too. What are you guys feeling about the new Green Day single? Are you enjoying it, or was this another miscue for you? Maybe you think it's a little bit too poppy? I personally don't mind it. I think there's some classic rock stylings in here. I was almost reminded a bit of Queen in places, which wouldn't be odd considering I know Green Day were influenced by the likes of them and The Who, and I almost hear a little bit of 21st Century Breakdown with the pianos and the intro of this track. Also, because you guys have been asking so politely and patiently, I never got around to making a video about my experience with the Hella Mega Tour. I figured I'd talk about it for just a second at the end of this video. We had so much fun at Hella Mega. I went with my fiance Hannah, we went to the Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania date, and they played at the baseball stadium. It was the Interrupters as the opening act, and then you had Weezer, Fall Out Boy, and Green Day. The whole show was messy, but in a good way, in a very rock and roll purity type of way. It started pouring rain while Weezer were playing Africa, which, if you know the Weezer cover and the original Toto song, I Bless the Rain Down in Africa, it felt magical until the rain stayed forever, and until I got trapped in a line for alcoholic beverages for over an hour, so I was watching the set from a distance. We were in GA Pit, it was a lot of fun, and by the time Green Day came on, we were just back to form. We were drying out at that point because it mainly rained during Weezer and Fall Out Boy, and Green Day sounded phenomenal. It got me back on board, excited for them, knowing that they could put on such an entertaining, gripping show that didn't feel phoned in really in any way. They were very connected with the crowd, the energy was fantastic, and while the set list, I think it could have used some tinkering for sure. It was really just the hits, not any deep cuts. They're playing the same thing every single date. I want to see them mix it up because they have so many great underrated songs. It was still a lot of fun. Screaming every word to Jesus of Suburbia is always a blast live. And if you guys got to go to the Hella Mega Tour, then let me know your experience in the comments down below. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for tuning into this track review. Please hit that like button, subscribe for the love of music, and if you want to check out all of my Green Day videos, warning, there's a lot of them. There's a whole playlist right here. You can see another recent track review over here. Socials are in the description down below, and I'll be back soon with more on Beyond AR TV.